Most people want an extraordinary life, but live ordinary days. They wake up already tired, reach for their phones, and let the mood decide their effort. Work happens when they feel inspired. Growth is postponed until some perfect future morning arrives. This is not a failure of intelligence or talent. It is a failure of daily structure. The Stoics understood something uncomfortable. Lives do not collapse because of one great tragedy. They decay because of neglected days, ignored standards, and small compromises repeated without resistance. Marcus Aurelius warned that what we do each day is what we become. Seneca reminded us that time, not money, is the one resource we truly waste. Today, you will learn the Stoic system for mastering daily excellence. Not hype, not motivation, discipline. A way to govern yourself when emotions fluctuate and circumstances refuse to cooperate. If you are ready to raise your daily standard, like this video and comment, "I choose excellence," starting today, without excuses. 1. Excellence begins with self-command. Modern life trains people to react instead of command. Notifications decide attention, emotions decide behavior, and pressure decides priorities. When something feels uncomfortable, the instinct is to avoid it. When something feels exciting, the instinct is to chase it. This is how most people live, not by choice, but by reflex. They call it freedom, but it is dependent on mood. A person ruled by emotion is not free. They are predictable, easy to provoke, and constantly pulled by forces outside themselves. This quiet pattern erodes strength long before failure is visible. It happens daily without resistance or awareness present. Stoic philosophy begins with a blunt truth. Self-command matters more than freedom. Freedom without discipline is chaos with better branding. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet his primary concern was ruling himself. He wrote that the first victory is over yourself, because without that victory, every external success is unstable. You may earn respect, money, or influence, but if your reactions own you, none of it is secure. The Stoics did not promise comfort. They promised control. And control starts internally before it ever appears in your circumstances. It is a daily discipline, not a personality trait or talent gift. Excellence begins in the morning, before emotion has a chance to vote. When you let feelings decide your first actions, you surrender authority immediately. The Stoic approach is simple but demanding. Act first, feel later. You move your body before motivation appears. You begin the task before confidence arrives. Action is the lever that realigns emotion, not the other way around. This is why disciplined people seem calm. They are not calmer by nature. They are calmer by structure, repetition, and self-command. That consistency builds trust within themselves. Over time, reactions lose their power, and discipline always leads forward motion. Modern culture confuses self-expression with self-mastery. You are encouraged to vent, react, and broadcast every internal fluctuation. The Stoics taught the opposite. They trained restraint, not repression. To command yourself does not mean ignoring emotion. It means refusing to let emotion drive. You observe it, name it, and then choose action aligned with principle. This is not coldness. It is clear. A person who commands themselves cannot be easily manipulated, rushed, or provoked. Their power comes from pause, not impulse. It creates stability when the world pressures movement. That stability becomes personal authority. Others feel it immediately, without explanation required. Self-command is tested most when resistance appears. Fatigue, boredom, doubt, and frustration are not signs to stop. They are signals to practice. Each time you act despite them, you strengthen internal authority. Each time you obey them, you weaken it. Over time, this difference compounds into character. This is why Stoic excellence is quiet. There is no dramatic transformation, only consistent alignment between intention and action. You become someone who can be relied on, especially by yourself, and that reliability becomes freedom. Not emotional freedom, but disciplined freedom, built slowly through daily obedience to standards you choose without negotiation. Ever. Excellence begins with self-command because nothing else holds without it. You cannot lead others, build a life, or sustain purpose while being governed by impulse. The Stoics knew this, and they left a clear directive. Govern yourself first. When you do, the world loses leverage over you. Circumstances may challenge you, but they no longer control you. Begin today by choosing action over mood, principle over comfort, and command over reaction. Say it clearly and mean it. I command myself before the world does. This is where mastery truly starts. 2. Ordinary days are the battlefield. Most people underestimate the danger of an ordinary day. They tell themselves today does not matter, that real change begins tomorrow, next month, or after circumstances improve. This illusion feels harmless, but it is one of the most destructive beliefs in modern life. A day ignored is not neutral. It quietly shapes habits, standards, and identity. When repeated, neglect becomes direction. The Stoics warned against this blindness. They understood that life is not lost all at once, but in small daily withdrawals. Missed effort, delayed action, and careless hours slowly build the life you never intended to live fully awake. Stoicism reframes time as material. Each day is a brick, and your life is the structure those bricks create. You do not get to skip days without consequence. Seneca was clear. Wasting time is wasting life itself. Not money, not opportunity, but life. Ordinary days are where foundations are laid, whether intentionally or not. When discipline is absent, disorder fills the gap. When effort is optional, mediocrity becomes normal. The Stoic does not wait for dramatic moments. He respects the quiet hours because he knows they decide the outcome long before results appear with absolute precision, patience, and deliberate intent. In American culture, people chase transformation through extremes. They sign up for gyms, careers, marriages, and financial plans expecting sudden breakthroughs. But progress rarely happens in bursts. It happens through showing up on boring days, training when motivation is low, doing honest work when no one is watching, choosing patience in marriage when conflict feels dull, saving and investing when spending would feel better. These decisions do not feel heroic, they feel repetitive, yet they are decisive. Excellence is not built in moments of excitement, but in routines executed when the day offers nothing exciting at all to the ego. The Stoic practice is to win the first hour, not perfectly, but intentionally. How you begin the day sets the tone for how you tolerate resistance later. When the first hour is wasted, the rest of the day is negotiated. But when it is disciplined, everything else aligns more easily. This hour is not about intensity. It is about direction, movement before distraction, effort before opinion, structure before chaos. A focused first hour builds momentum that carries through work, training, relationships, and finances. It is a quiet declaration that the day belongs to you, not circumstance or external pressure today. Ordinary days test commitment more than crisis ever will. Crisis forces action. Boredom requires discipline. This is where most people fail without noticing. They stay consistent when emotions are high, but disappear when nothing feels urgent. Stoicism teaches that this is precisely the moment that matters. When there is no pressure, no praise, no deadline, your standards reveal themselves. Each boring day completed with care strengthens identity. Each boring day avoided weakens it. Over time, these invisible choices shape careers, marriages, health, and self-respect far more than any dramatic turning point you will ever experience in your entire adult life. There are no trivial days, only trivial discipline. The Stoic does not wait for inspiration or ideal conditions. He respects the ordinary because he understands its power. Excellence is practiced on boring days, when no one is watching and nothing feels urgent. That is the battlefield. Win it consistently, and life compounds in your favor. Lose it repeatedly, and no ambition will save you. Begin tomorrow by taking the first hour seriously. Treat the day as training, not background noise. Say it with clarity and commit without hesitation. Excellence is built here, today, again through discipline, structure, consistency, focus, daily. 3. Discipline. Over motivation, modern culture worships motivation. People wait to feel inspired before they act, energized before they commit, confident before they begin. Motivation is treated as a requirement, not a byproduct. The problem is simple and brutal. Motivation is an emotion, and emotions are unstable. They rise and fall with sleep, stress, praise, weather, and mood. When your life depends on motivation, your progress becomes fragile. Some days you move forward. Most days you stall. This is why so many people start strong and fade quietly. They confuse emotional energy with inner strength, and the moment that energy disappears, so does action. Stoic philosophy rejects this dependence completely. The Stoics did not ask how they felt before acting. They asked what needed to be done. Epictetus was direct. Do not ask yourself whether you feel like it. Ask whether it is your duty. This is the Stoic reversal. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you move your body, your mind follows. When you complete the task, confidence appears. Waiting for readiness is a trap. Readiness is created through movement. Discipline does not require enthusiasm. It requires obedience to principle, even when emotion resists. This is why disciplined people appear unusually consistent. They are not more inspired, they are less negotiable. They remove emotion from the decision-making process. The work is done because it is scheduled, not because it feels good. Over time, this creates a powerful psychological shift. When you act despite resistance, your mind learns that discomfort is not a threat. Motivation stops being a gatekeeper. It becomes a reward. This is the hidden advantage of discipline. It builds trust between you and yourself. You become someone who keeps promises regardless of mood. That trust becomes confidence, and confidence fuels further action. The Stoic formula is simple and unforgiving. Fixed routines eliminate decision fatigue. Non-negotiables remove internal debate. You do not wake up asking what you feel like doing. You already decided yesterday. Training happens at the same time. Work begins regardless of mood. Standards do not fluctuate. This structure is not restrictive. It is liberating. When fewer decisions depend on emotion, mental energy is preserved. You stop bargaining with yourself. You stop creating excuses that sound reasonable but lead nowhere. Discipline clears mental noise and replaces it with direction. It turns chaos into order through repetition. Motivation will betray you at the worst possible moments. When progress is slow, when results are invisible, when effort feels lonely. Discipline will not. Discipline stays when motivation leaves. It carries you through boredom, frustration, and doubt. This is why Stoicism emphasizes endurance over excitement. A calm, steady rhythm outperforms emotional spikes every time. In careers, in fitness, in relationships, in finances, consistency compounds quietly. The disciplined person advances while others wait to feel ready. Over years, the gap becomes impossible to ignore, not because of talent, but because of reliability. Discipline also protects self-respect. Each time you act only when motivated, you teach yourself that feelings are in control. Each time you act despite resistance, you teach yourself that you are. That lesson reshapes identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who does what is required. This identity shift is powerful. It reduces anxiety because you trust your response. It builds calm because you know what comes next, and it creates momentum that no external praise or validation can replace. Choose discipline over motivation, and you choose stability over fluctuation. You choose progress over comfort. You choose self-command over emotional dependence. Say it and live it without negotiation. I act whether I feel ready or not. That is the Stoic path. For voluntary discomfort sharpens. The edge. Modern life is engineered to remove discomfort. Climate control, instant delivery, endless entertainment, and constant convenience promise ease at every turn. Comfort is sold as progress. Yet beneath this convenience hides a quiet weakness. When discomfort disappears from daily life, resilience disappears with it. The Stoics understood this danger clearly. They saw comfort not as a reward, but as a test. When the body and mind never experience resistance, they lose their edge. Strength fades slowly, unnoticed, until the first real hardship arrives and overwhelms a person who has forgotten how to endure. Stoicism offers a countermeasure: voluntary hardship. This is not punishment or self-denial for its own sake. It is deliberate training. Seneca practiced sleeping on the floor and eating simple food, not because he enjoyed suffering, but because he refused to be enslaved by comfort. He wanted to know that if luxury vanished, his character would remain intact. Voluntary discomfort builds confidence that circumstances cannot take away. It reminds you that you are stronger than your preferences and steadier than your habits. It prepares you for hardship before hardship demands preparation. Modern examples are simple but powerful. Cold showers teach the nervous system that shock does not equal danger. You enter resistance willingly, breathe through it, and emerge calm. Hard conversations build emotional strength the same way. Instead of avoiding discomfort, you face it directly, choosing honesty over ease. Training when tired teaches the body and mind that effort is not conditional. These practices are not extreme. They are controlled doses of difficulty that sharpen awareness, discipline, and self-trust. Each one reinforces the same lesson. Discomfort is survivable, temporary, and useful. The Stoics believed that a person unfamiliar with discomfort becomes fragile. When life inevitably applies pressure, they panic, avoid, or collapse. Voluntary hardship reverses this pattern. It builds familiarity with resistance so that stress no longer feels personal or catastrophic. You stop asking why things are hard and start asking how to meet them well. This shift creates inner calm. When challenges arise, they feel expected, not unfair. You're no longer shocked by difficulty. You are trained for it. That readiness is power. Comfort dulls perception. When life is too easy, attention weakens. Discipline loosens. Standards soften. Discomfort sharpens awareness. It brings you into the present moment. Cold water demands focus. Physical strain demands breath control. Honest conversations demand courage. These moments strip away distraction and force engagement. This is why Stoics did not fear difficulty. They saw it as a whetstone for character. Each encounter with voluntary discomfort sharpens patience, resolve, and self-command. Over time, this edge becomes visible in how you carry yourself and respond to pressure. Voluntary discomfort also protects against fear. When you regularly choose discomfort, fear loses authority. You stop avoiding effort because effort is familiar. You stop delaying action because resistance is expected. This builds momentum. The disciplined person moves forward while others hesitate. Not because they feel fearless, but because fear no longer decides. This is the Stoic advantage. You do not wait for life to be gentle. You train yourself to be solid. Comfort promises safety, but delivers fragility. Discomfort promises growth and delivers strength. The Stoics chose the second path deliberately. You can do the same. Choose small, controlled hardships daily. Enter resistance willingly. Train before you are tested. Remember this line and live by it. Comfort dulls. Discomfort sharpens. 5. Excellence is a moral standard. Most people misunderstand success. They measure it by outcomes, applause, status, and comparison. Success becomes a race against others, a scoreboard defined by money, titles, or recognition. This definition creates endless anxiety because someone is always ahead. It also weakens character because shortcuts become tempting when results matter more than integrity. The Stoics rejected this framing entirely. For them, excellence was never about winning against others. It was about not betraying yourself. A life can look successful and still be hollow if it is built on compromise, avoidance, or quiet dishonesty practiced daily. Stoic philosophy defines excellence as moral alignment. To live well is to live in accordance with virtue, regardless of external reward. Marcus Aurelius wrote that your task is to do the work of a human being, not the work of a celebrity, not the work of a winner, but the work of someone who acts with reason, courage, justice, and self-control. This standard does not change with circumstance. It applies on good days and bad days, in public and in private. It asks one question repeatedly. Did you act in a way that respects your own character today? This definition is demanding because it removes excuses. You cannot blame the system, the pressure, or the behavior of others. Excellence becomes internal and unavoidable. You are not allowed to say you had no choice. You always have a choice in how you act. This is where Stoic excellence becomes uncomfortable. It holds you accountable even when no one is watching, especially then. Character is revealed in private decisions, not public performances. The Stoics believed that a person who is upright only when observed is not upright at all. Doing the right thing when no one sees is the purest form of excellence. It is easy to act ethically when reputation is at stake. It is much harder when silence protects you from consequence. Yet this is where self-respect is earned. Each time you choose honesty over convenience, restraint over impulse, effort over laziness, you reinforce an internal identity. You become someone who can be trusted by yourself. That trust is stabilizing. It creates inner peace that external success cannot replicate. No applause is required. No validation is necessary. You know who you are because your actions confirm it. Modern culture encourages performance over principle. People curate images, manage impressions, and justify small compromises as necessary. Stoicism cuts through this noise. It reminds you that the only audience that matters is your own conscience. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations not for praise, but for correction. He judged himself daily, not harshly, but honestly. This practice builds clarity. You stop asking whether something looks good and start asking whether it is good. That shift changes how you work, speak, train, and relate to others. Excellence as a moral standard also simplifies life. When values are clear, decisions become easier. You do not debate whether to cut corners, lie slightly, or delay responsibility. The answer is already decided by your principles. This reduces mental friction. You stop negotiating with yourself. Over time, this consistency builds quiet authority. Others may not understand it, but they feel it. A person who lives by standards does not need to announce them. Their presence communicates reliability and depth. To live this way is not to be perfect. The Stoics did not demand flawlessness. They demanded effort aligned with virtue. When you fall short, You correct the course without drama. You do not abandon standards because you failed once. You recommit. This is moral excellence practiced daily, imperfectly, but sincerely. Say it and live it. I measure myself by my character. 6. Focus on what you control. Ruthlessly. Anxiety is not caused by effort. It is caused by misplaced effort. Most anxiety comes from trying to control things that do not belong to us: outcomes, opinions, timing, and other people's behavior. The modern world amplifies this mistake by rewarding constant reaction. News cycles, social media, workplace pressure, and comparison culture all pull attention outward. The more control you seek externally, the less stable you feel internally. The Stoics diagnosed this centuries ago. They understood that peace does not come from force, dominance, or prediction. It comes from precision is where you place your energy, and discipline in where you refuse to place it. Stoicism is built around a simple but unforgiving framework: the dichotomy of control. Some things are within your control, and some things are not. Confusing the two is the root of emotional exhaustion. Epictetus was explicit. Only 3 things belong to you fully: your judgment, your choices, and your actions. Everything else is external. Results, reactions, recognition, and timing do not belong to you. When you try to manage them anyway, you create constant friction. When you release them, clarity returns. Control is not expanded by force. It is refined by subtraction. The disciplined Stoic learns to cut noise aggressively. You stop arguing with reality. You stop rehearsing imaginary futures. You stop reliving conversations you cannot change. Instead, you narrow your focus to what can be done now, what judgment can be corrected, what choice can be improved, what action can be taken cleanly. This narrowing creates calm. Anxiety fades not because problems vanish, but because attention becomes accurate. You no longer fight the uncontrollable. You engage the controllable with full presence. This is not passive. It is highly active, but directed. A practical Stoic tool for this is the daily 2-column audit. On one side, write what is within your control. On the other, write what is not. Be ruthless and honest. Your effort, your preparation, your response, your boundaries belong on the first side. Outcomes, other people's decisions, delays, and opinions belong on the second. Then act only on the first column. This exercise exposes how much energy is wasted daily. When repeated, it retrains attention. You stop leaking focus. You stop rehearsing helplessness. You start building precision. This practice transforms how you experience pressure. Work stress becomes manageable when you focus on execution, not evaluation. Relationship tension softens when you focus on your conduct, not control. Financial anxiety reduces when you focus on habits, not markets. You still care, but you no longer cling. The Stoics never taught indifference. They taught disciplined engagement. You show up fully, then release the rest. This balance is strength. It prevents burnout and builds resilience that does not depend on favorable conditions. Ruthless focus is an act of self-respect. It protects your inner axis from external chaos. When attention is precise, effort feels lighter. When effort is aligned, peace follows naturally. Not the peace of avoidance, but the peace of right placement. Remember this line and return to it often. My peace comes from precision, not force. 7. Consistency builds the unbreakable. Consistency is not glamorous, but it is decisive. People chase breakthroughs, transformations, and explosive moments, yet overlook the quiet force that actually builds strength. The Stoics understood that greatness is not born from intensity, but from persistence. What you repeat becomes you. What you abandon weakens you. Excellence grows through steady pressure applied daily, without drama, applause, or emotional fireworks. Most people quit because they expect perfection. They miss a day, fail a task, or lose momentum, then conclude the effort is broken. Stoicism rejects this all-or-nothing thinking. You do not need flawless execution, you need continuity. Progress compounds through showing up again, even after mistakes, fatigue, or discouragement attempt to interrupt your discipline over time, always steadily. Consistency works because small actions accumulate power invisibly. 1% improvement daily feels insignificant, but time magnifies it relentlessly. Habits compound the same way money does. Missed days accumulate too. This is why the Stoics emphasized daily conduct. Identity is shaped not by occasional heroism, but by the behaviors you repeat when nothing dramatic happens during ordinary life routines daily. The Stoic identity is simple and demanding. You become someone who keeps promises to yourself, not loudly, not publicly, but privately and consistently. This builds an unbreakable internal contract. When circumstances become difficult, you do not rely on motivation or mood. You rely on your word. That reliability becomes strength that cannot be taken from you ever again by others. Perfection creates fragility. Consistency creates resilience. The person who waits for ideal conditions becomes dependent on them. The person who trains through imperfection becomes adaptable. Stoicism favors the second path. You're allowed to have bad days. You're not allowed to disappear. Returning matters more than intensity. Staying matters more than speed across years, long enough to reshape character. Consistency removes drama from progress. There is no waiting, no bargaining, no emotional debate. The work is done because it is time. This simplicity protects energy and attention. You stop burning effort on decision-making. Instead, you invest it into execution. Over time, this creates calm confidence that does not spike or crash under pressure or uncertainty during difficult periods. Quitting is rarely dramatic. It happens quietly through skipped routines and lowered standards. Consistency prevents this erosion. Each small recommendation repairs identity. Each return strengthens resolve. The Stoic does not shame failure. He corrects it. This mindset keeps momentum alive even when progress feels slow or invisible over months and years of disciplined repetition, despite setbacks, fatigue, doubt, boredom, resistance, pain. An unbreakable man is not flawless. He is dependable. He shows up when tired, uncertain, or uninspired. He does not abandon himself for comfort. This reliability compounds into trust. When you know you will not quit, fear loses leverage. Confidence becomes quiet, grounded, and stable across changing conditions without relying on external validation or praise from others ever again, consistently. Stoic consistency is an oath renewed daily, not a burst of willpower, but a steady agreement with yourself. You do what you said you would do. This practice builds dignity. Over time, results follow naturally, but even without results, you remain intact. That is the deepest victory Stoicism offers to those who refuse quitting repeatedly despite temptation, excuses, fatigue, pressure. Consistency builds the man nothing can break, not overnight, but inevitably. If you commit to returning, you will outlast chaos. Say it without hesitation and live it daily. I don't quit on myself. That sentence, practiced quietly, becomes armor. Over time, life recognizes your firmness and adjusts accordingly through consistent, disciplined actions, repeated endlessly across ordinary, demanding seasons of life. Excellence is not something you achieve once and admire from a distance. It is something you practice daily, often quietly, often without recognition. In this video, we walked through the Stoic framework for building daily excellence. Self-command before freedom, discipline over motivation, ordinary days as the true battlefield, voluntary discomfort as training, character as the real measure of success, ruthless focus on what you control, and consistency as the force that makes you unbreakable. None of these ideas are dramatic. That is exactly why they work. The Stoics never promised an easy life. They offered something more reliable, a way to become solid no matter what life brings. You don't need perfect days. You need standards you refuse to abandon. Start small, win the first hour. Choose one discomfort. Keep one promise to yourself today. Let action lead emotion, not the other way around. Excellence grows through repetition, not intensity. If this video resonated with you, take a moment to reflect and commit. Write it down. Say it clearly. Decide how you will practice daily excellence starting now. Thank you for spending this time with me and choosing depth over distraction. If you want to continue building discipline, clarity, and inner strength through Stoic philosophy, subscribe and join me in the next video. Until then, stay steady and keep your standards high.